Sorry. Hello, everybody. And thank you all. Thank you all for being here. We're going to get started. We're just 2 minutes behind schedule, and we do have a packed agenda. So I wanted to just welcome you all. Caroline's going to do more of an official welcome. What I wanted to just make sure you should have an agenda. If you don't, raise your hand. I'll get that over to you. There's also some resources that I will make sure to pass around so that you all have a copy of this as well. The one addition to this agenda is Alan Butler. Alan, can you wave? Alan. So this afternoon, he came up with some additional items for what we should consider for strategic planning and economic development. I printed that out. There's at least one copy on all the tables. He's going to make a very brief presentation about that after the open floor. And then you all will launch into and then it'll be the fireside chat. And then when you all are having your table side discussions, he said if you want to call him over to discuss some of the things that he's thinking about, he's welcome to just wander around the tables as well. So the one thing, thank you all to the panelists, and just to let you all know, we are live streaming, and so when you speak for that everybody to hear you, you have to turn these things on and talk into the mic. Yeah, I think that's it.
Is that it?
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for introducing everybody. I'm Caroline Noya, for those of you who don't know me. I'm a volunteer on many things around Smithville. I am helping Jill with the economic development piece of the comprehensive plan. So we have a panel of experts up here tonight, and I'd like to introduce them, let them tell you a little bit about themselves. I'm going to start on the far right. Frank Urbanek.
Thank you. Yes, Frank from Bastrop, and I sit on the Bastrop EDC board there. And then I also sit on the board in Smithville with Jill on the career tracks for the Smithville Workforce Training Center. And prior to my current position, I'm a home builder. And before that, I was 27 years in banking. Had an opportunity to get out of it in 2021, co-founded a construction company, and now do spec and custom homes as well as remodels as well. So.
Yes, hello. My name is Callie Taylor, and I'm the Vice President of Economic Development for Opportunity Austin. And Opportunity Austin is the 5-county economic development initiative. We used to be hosted within the Austin Chamber, always been separate entities, but we recently split so that we could focus on continuing our journey of being a regional initiative. Work with about 25 communities on economic development, workforce and talent, global investment and innovation, and advocacy for the 5-county Austin region.
So I'm Adina Lewis. I was born at 204 Main. I live at 603 Main, but there was my gap years of about 40 that I was gone. So there were people that were, Jeannie Ralph was a little bitty girl when I left. I had the honor to serve you. I work for Bastrop County. I'm the Director of Tourism and Economic Development. It started out with just tourism, managing the HOT fund for the county, and then the county felt the need about 6 years ago to spread my wings out, make it even harder to do my job. So I had the economic development side of it as well. So that's what I do for you. Yes, I was for 8 years, I was the executive director at the chamber.
What did you call yourself?
I called myself the chambermaid.
That was when I met you. Well, we want to take a few more minutes this evening, for y'all to think about what does economic development mean for you. I've asked Lee Kilgore to help me record some of your things if you kind of want to go around table to table and give her a chance to write it down. So don't just shout it out. But
So yeah, you'll all have to speak into the.
yeah, please speak into the microphone. We'll pass the mic
yes.
around. The first one we heard was jobs.
Economic development to me means improving what we have and making our community so much better.
Economic development means to me growth. We need roofs, and roofs bring people, and people bring business, and we need economic development proactively, not reactively. So that's what economic development means to me. Without roofs, we don't get people, and without people, we don't get business. That's what economic development means. With all due respect to all of this, okay? That's what it means to me.
Economic development to me means, well, like Chris said, growth, but I think it has to be a certain kind of growth. I'm a little bit for tourism. I would love people to pour in here on Thursday night and leave Sunday afternoon. But we need what's going to bring them here? What's their why for coming here?
Tax revenue for the city so the city can reinvest in cultural programming and um, infrastructure maintenance, so we don't keep getting crumbling streets and rising streets that bury our houses in water.
I don't get a vote, but I do get to say something. Economic development to me means supporting the existing businesses and giving incentives to other businesses to move into the area. And also providing opportunities for employment and training to help the people who live here make higher wages to help support these businesses. Because we're getting a new restaurant on First Street. I'm not advertising for them, but I'm excited about it. It's called Sweet Tea. But unless people, they're gonna be open 7 days a week. But unless people go there and participate and support them, they're not gonna be able to sustain it. So you have to build the businesses, invite the businesses in, get them here, get them interested, build it, and then get the citizens to. It's not just for restaurants, it's for all businesses.
Economic development for me, and as the president of the Smithville Chamber of Commerce, is collaborating with the city of Smithville to generate revenue when it comes with taxes, and also assist the businesses here, our local businesses right now, that need the support from the community. But we also need to be able to make it. God, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, I've had a long day. We need to be able, as the chamber, promoting our businesses is very important for us, and providing them that support that they need, in spreading the word to the community about, like what you said, Willie, with the new businesses that are coming in town. But yes, generating tax revenue.
Well, I give my 3 points here. So, economic development to me is not only growth but also retention of existing businesses in the community, sustainability, and then maintaining and leveraging existing resources.
Economic development means to me diversity of income streams. I was just an observer, but that was an incredibly painful budget season that the city just went through. And so it's broadening income streams.
Economic development to me, I mean, everything's really been covered, but to me, it's a successful Smithville. I mean, we're dying on the vine, and not only the chamber, everyone is doing everything they can, or just pulling out every idea and every stop to try and get to build, to grow, to do. And we got to find some way to mainline that and build it up, because right now we're losing the battle.
All right, so I'm going to go with Carrie there. But I also think that it's important that we take care of more than just our main street. I think that our whole town should be attractive. I know when I go to another town, I love little towns. I love to shop in little towns. But if I drive through that town and it's kind of dirty and, you know, the streets are messy, or I typically won't stop. But I like to drive around, I look at the houses, and then it makes me want to go downtown and shop at the little shops they have. So, you know, all I see the city do is work on the main street. And I think we need to do more than that to attract businesses and people. And we need to find a way to keep the costs down, to bring the businesses in. Because if it's not cost effective, they're not coming in.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah. So I mentioned not only growing business, because that was a conversation of growing and getting more business to come to town, which is a great thing, but retaining the businesses that are existing. People have already invested in the community. How can we help leverage keeping them maintained so they are established businesses, sustainability, and then maintaining and leveraging existing resources? This part?
If you want to do your Cliff Notes version of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah, the Cliff Notes version of it.
I thought you brought these guys.
Well, she just, yeah, here.
I guess I'm an old timer here in town, but I'm not a native. But so I've been through this change, and as Carrie said, the town now has been dying on the vine. One of the things that each one of us has a responsibility to do is to talk Smithville up. I met two different couples today, and one of them lives off of 304, occasionally comes to Smithville. The other one lives up by Suburban, and they do come down here sometimes to eat, particularly at Comfort Cafe. Well, all of us know all of the great places around Smithville, and we need to start sharing that information with folks around. I understand investing in a business because my family invested in a business here that was here for 40 some years. And it's not easy, but it irritates me when sometimes I'll hear, well, you know, the school system isn't great. The school system is great. I'm looking at one graduate over there. I don't know who else graduated from Smithville schools. Yeah, you did. You did. Yeah. These are all very successful people. Now, I understand, well, you're here, you're known throughout the community, and it's incumbent on us to wear a Smithville sign, so to speak. And wherever we're visiting with people, talk about here and talk about good things here. I'm tired about hearing about the high prices at Brookshire Brothers. No, Brookshire Brothers is clean. They got produce, and you'll really appreciate it more if you go over to HEB in Bastrop. And they won't be finished with the rebuilding or whatever for 8 months. So that's just what I understand. We need financial resources in this town, and sometimes you have to go to various people. You have to go out to business people out of town or in other towns and say, are you ready to expand into a really great family community? That's it. Sorry. You're fine.
I've been working with Domino's. They wanted to come here. It's between Smithville and Luling. We couldn't find anything. There's nothing. They need something on the highway. I tried to sell them some little cute, and they said, no, Domino's wants the all glass. We don't need a big dining. It's mainly takeout, and there's no dining in, takeout or pickup. And there was nothing. I called the new truck stop that's coming in across from Spiredale. The guy never would return my call. It would be an ideal spot because he has his truck stop, Sonic, And then we thought of Domino's on the other end. How cool. There's nowhere for me to put them. Oh,
Okay. Yeah, wait.
All the property across the highway on the east side is in the city. A lot of it's in the city. I don't know if it's, yeah, if it's tied up right now or what the prices would. Yeah, I'm
So-
talking about on the Loop Road.
Sorry, for the interest of time, let's hold on to that conversation until we have the
Okay.
table discussions. But really great discussions. I really appreciate all of you for being here and for, putting in your, what
Yeah.
development means to me. And
And we still have
Alan,
Alan, but we
2
can still
minutes,
give it
and then
2
we'll do
minutes.
the fireside.
And one of the things I completely forgot was to do the ground rules. Do you want me to say the rest? Yeah. We want everyone to participate, but no one dominates. The discussion stays focused on the issue at hand. Please silence your phones. Maintain an atmosphere for discussion and analysis of the options. This is not a discussion or a debate. Listening is as important as talking. We will work together towards making a decision. Please remain quiet during the discussions, and thank you for being here this evening. We appreciate it.
Right, thank you all very
go
much.
ahead.
Appreciate that. So 2 minutes, Alan. Okay.
I wear a lot of hats around the community. I know a lot of you. First and foremost, I'm a business owner. I do business in this town as a contractor. I help out at the workforce training center as well, as most of you know. And I'm also the Little League president. And over the course of, I don't know, last couple of years, I've sat in a lot of these meetings, listened to all the issues and challenges that we have locally in the community. We moved to Smithville ISD area back in 2020, so I'm from Bastrop area. So we really immersed myself and my family in our community more here. So I'm really trying to help whatever I can do to help Smithville, because that's where we live now, right? Even though I live outside of city limits, I still have a lot of interest in helping the community inside the city. One of the recent things that I learned, I've got a 6-point plan that I put together for the council and some folks to look at some options. And we went to the Texas Economic Development Council, and the city of Smithville won an award for workforce development. One of the topics of conversation there talked about food manufacturing facilities. There was a gentleman that did a presentation on that. And that's interesting because it really talked about how that ties into rural communities. Those are jobs and businesses that you can bring here locally. They're fairly recession proof. Everybody's got to eat. So just because the raw product or supply chain issues might be a problem in many agricultural communities. So to me, it just makes sense to try to attract that type of business to town. And some other things that need to be done, roads and those kinds of things. So it might be a way to leverage some things economically. Ecotourism, I know there's tons of resources we have regionally, but attract people. Technology businesses, there's a ton of opportunity. Critical infrastructure needs, but I'm happy to talk more. I guess my time's probably up. Yep.
Sorry.
The next.
The next topic is we're going to have a little fireside chat with our panel of I was going to ask the panel, with all of y'all being in the is your take on that, of what economic development is? Is it creating wealth or what?
So I think economic development, and I think everybody hit a point somewhere. I mean, everybody had excellent comments, and that's all part of it. But I think it's kind of overall economic development is a creation of wealth in which the community benefits are created, and I think you do that through the retention and expansion of your enhancing your existing businesses, business expansion, attracting new businesses into your community, and then the business creation, encouraging the growth of new businesses, and you have to do that through there's rooftops, there's as Alan said too, there's different companies to be brought in, and those are all part that would bring creation of wealth into your community. That then you see the revenues then go up because through the commercial businesses that come in, obviously you get higher tax revenues off those than you would maybe your residentials, and so you can actually do more and expand more, and sewage facility plants expand those, as I think you mentioned, Alan, on that. And so, yeah, it's creation of wealth into your community.
And what Carrie said earlier really resonated with me. Economic development means successful Smithville, and a successful Bastrop County, a successful school district, a successful community, and identifying all of those things that are important to the community and working together and leveraging the assets that are here, but also in those surrounding areas to kind of bolster two of them together. And it's going to make for a stronger Bastrop County and a successful Smithville.
When you need them. What year was Smithville founded?
Oh.
How many ups and downs there have been in Smithville since 1895? We've watched some of them, and it's a challenge. Economic development, growth in economic development. It's a challenge to all the segments of the community. But stability and jobs, things that you can count on, I think that's strong economic development brings you those things.
There's these surveys out here that have been a community. Or do you not agree with this, or not so much? It should be on your. I don't know if y'all have had a chance to.
So yes, I mean, I'm just kind of looking over the rankings that that was brought in, and you can see, I mean, the top 20% there. You look at the business retention and expansion, attraction and bringing in the workforce and development and training. Workforce development and training is so important because you can bring the companies in. One of the things that's going on in Bastrop, we brought in Accutronics, and that was helped through Opportunity Austin, and they've partnered with the school system to bring in the certification program to train. So as these students are getting trained into this company, once they graduate, they'll have a paying job that they can have enough income to afford a house, and so that's where the affordable housing comes in. So downtown revitalization, and then city infrastructure and roads. And city infrastructure and roads is very important because we know in the amount of growth that is coming our way. I mean, you really can't go west anymore because of all the hills. It's all built up from Austin. It's coming our way. And we're seeing that through the number of businesses that are contacting the Bastrop EDC as well. And then yesterday we had the State of the City address with our city manager telling us it's going to be like 42% population growth between now and 2029. So it's here, guys, and so yeah, I mean, I think all these priority ranks are hitting the nail on the head, and I think managing that growth is very important.
And yeah, I think that this priority rank is, I mean, I'm kind of biased because this is what I do every day, but so it looks exactly like how I might go down the file, but I've actually spent quite a bit of time here in Smithville with Jill and Robert on some projects that we've been trying to get happen. And just I want to give her a shout out. She has probably scoured every parcel and plot of land and every grant available to try and get some of these projects that, with input from the city, and, to make sure that it's a meaningful project. The group that we've been trying to recruit that's going to make the affordable homes, and I'm trying to get those homes and even partnering with the teachers, because I know it's an issue here to even have enough rooftops for your teachers that are coming in. And so I think that y'all really have everything going for you. Is staying in front of your businesses. Once you attract them, it doesn't, do any good if you can't keep them and they don't feel supported. But bringing in, I think you've got people working towards that business attraction piece. So it's going to take finding the right site with the right infrastructure that works for that project, that works for your workforce. But you can know that every day they're out here just really trying to make it happen. In fact, Jill's been responding on some projects out of our office just recently that seem like they might be a good fit. So.
They sent that lead out to all of the partners in Austin. Her revibes a lot. Yeah. So that is an important part of it. And I agree. I would have voted very similarly to this. I do agree that it's important to look at the whole community, not just the downtown. But in everything I've ever gone to where downtown revitalization is discussed, the downtown is the heartbeat of the community. And so you have to have that strong downtown in order to support all the other things. Another thing I think we forget about in Smithville sometimes is we have a large trade area. We have a very large trade area, and these folks can live right outside our city limits, but they can be very important customers for our businesses. And so the more we can do to get those people to feel a part of the community, and they are, go to the fireman's benefit. All the people are from all over the county, right? Because they feel connected. And I think that's important because they have choices. They can either go left or right, or they can just come right to us. And so I think that's one of the things we need to do.
The third question I have for y'all is, what have y'all seen to indicate that growth is on the way, and how do we prepare for it? What are the pros and cons that we need to look for? We keep hearing growth is coming, growth is coming. So what challenges do we have that we need to overcome?
I brought a little visual. I'm a visual learner. Right now, there are 39,000 homes platted to be built in Bastrop County. 39,000. The city of Elgin will double in size, not in 10 years, not in 20 years. I could talk negative, but what does that give us? What does that provide us?
This is working.
Oh, I was talking with Victoria, owner of the front room, the other day, and she said, Jeannie, we are at max every night. I would love to have another. And now Sweet Tea is going to be a full bar, and I don't know if it's going to be like at the front room or not, but, you know, hopefully. But what I want to ask is also, you alluded, and Callie and I think Adina alluded that something was coming. Is that anything we can share? Because I would love to tell my Domino's guy that. No?
Callie
Sorry,
said
that was
everything
a
we could say.
teaser.
Was a teaser.
Well, and I think we need to explain what happens in economic development when you're working with somebody. They don't always want their current employees in a different city to know, and they don't want other groups that are competing for the same thing to know that they're coming in. So it requires a bit of secrecy that seems rude almost. You know, I knew Harry Potter was coming to McKinney Ruff's, and I couldn't tell anybody that Harry Potter was coming to McKinney Ruff's. That's a really big deal. 300,000 people are expected to go through there. They're all going to eat. They're all going to stay in hotels. Did you know that 5.4 million people go into Buc-ee's every year? 5.4 million people go into Buc-ee's. They drive past us, right? So, anyway. It's not because people don't want you to know. It's because it can blow the deal. That's really what can happen.
Yes, no, that's exactly right. I mean, there's a number of factors including just negotiating on the property that you're working with and, you know, negotiating the utilities and other infrastructure. So, it is definitely not because of a rude thing. We have to find the right place for them to land before you can make any kind of an announcement. And we're still working on that. But as far as the growth coming, I think I kind of forgot. So do you see it coming and then? Oh, okay. I mean, infrastructure is going to be, yes, everything. I mean, power and water are pretty key. It's going to be a big part of every conversation in the legislative session. It's a big part of what our advocacy team is going to be doing. That's probably all they're going to be doing for a few months here. And we will, I'm sure, be working with Adina and with Jill and Robert on that piece and helping them to go and advocate as well. I know that there's been some grants filed to help get that infrastructure, but that's really going to be a big thing going forward. I know that's been some of the hindrance with some of the areas of development here. But if you look at going out 71 coming out of Austin along the Colorado River, I mean, the signs that the growth they're coming are Tesla went in, then Boring Company, then SpaceX, and they're building another development out there. Yes. Okay, I didn't know if that was actually leaked on. Okay. But so all along the Colorado River there, growing out into Bastrop County, all of that infrastructure is coming. They had to get water on those sites. They had to get electric, and that is the area where we are growing. That's where the land is. It's where all the houses are going because Elon is, you know, people want to develop around Elon's businesses. And so if you can't, I mean,
Here we go. Yeah, so I think in order to handle a lot of the growth that's coming in and to certainly get ahead of the negatives, I mean, for example, right here tonight, and you know, this is such an important meeting, and then of course after this, you'll have is there a stakeholder meeting after this one that will come in? But yeah, I mean, for to set clear and attainable goals and the objectives, you know, design the policies and programs, and this is what makes this, you know, everybody's input so important, and to be able to take it to the next level and to the stakeholders meeting and put it into a format that we can be ahead of the growth.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions about that they want to ask the experts? Is there a question? Nope. Okay, well then, if no one wants to say anything, you sure nobody wants to talk, right? Okay. We're gonna move on to a public discussion. The reason we have y'all set up at tables for y'all can pick and choose which part of economic development y'all want to discuss. And then if we'll do that for about 15, 20 minutes, and then have everybody report back, to half an hour.
So just to put a little more clarity on that. So what we'd like you to do is pick a topic. There's a number all around the room. I'll close those doors. There's paper all up around the room. What we want you to do is to start talking about the different economic development topics. As a table, figure out what you want to tackle first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set timer, and I'll have you talk for 10 minutes about the first topic, 10 minutes about the second topic, and 10 minutes about a third topic. Okay, and so what you'll have is you have paper, so you can start jotting notes down and just kind of, if you need to use it, you can use that. You have sticky notes so that when you decide you're going to do something on workforce or downtown revitalization or retail trade, you take an idea on the sticky note and you put it up on one of these big pieces of paper. Okay, and then when we're done with doing that, every idea you have, just go ahead and put it down here, and we'll put it up where these big pieces of paper are. So we'll have 30 minutes of just sit down discussion. And then right after that, wait, let me see. Sorry, hang on one second.
Of the polka dots.
No, yeah, okay, so during this time, once you feel comfortable that you've kind of talked out a project, maybe in the last 2 minutes or so, go ahead at the end of that part of the half an hour and post your sticky notes. And then what we'll do after that is I'm going to pass around I'm going to pass around. I've got a stack of red dots here. Anyway, like these example is the purple dots, but I've got red dots too. Anyway, there's 12. You take each one of these. You can have 12 dots to set your priorities. So you can use all 12 on one idea. You can use 1 dot per 12 ideas or anything in between. So I'll be passing these around while you guys start your discussion, but we'll start with 10 minutes on first topic, 10 minutes on the second topic, and 10 minutes on the third topic. So if you want to trade tables or you want to, no, you choose. You choose whatever topic you like. So there's, yeah, 3 topics total. Yeah. You pick the 3 you want to as a table. And if you have a topic that you really want to, yeah, so as a table, go ahead and talk about 3 different topics. There's tourism. They're there. And also we added a few additional. So there's education, tourism, special efforts. We talked about this a little bit because there were a few things that came in on that that were additional other topics. So arts and culture was one, Colorado River and Riverbend Park was one, and then lodging was something that as we were talking, that was another piece of it. We've got business attraction, business expansion and retention, infrastructure, downtown revitalization, workforce, housing, and the several levels of housing. And that's it, right? There's not another one in there. Yes, absolutely. And that's what you can do. If you want to tell me, I'll just put another thing up. Yeah. Okay, so 10 minutes, go. Are there any questions? Does that make sense? Everybody's good. Thank you all very much.
Thank you all very much.
So if I can have, just for a second, if I can have your attention, if you want to do more than 3 topics, that's perfectly fine too. If you want to just write out a whole lot of ideas on everything, that's fine. But I thought just to focus a little bit, if you wanted to have 10 minutes and then we'll switch to another topic. But this is your time to do what you want to do to talk. So thank you. Okay, if you haven't gone to your second topic and that's how you roll, it's time to do your second topic. Okay, y'all have 5 minutes to wrap up, and then we'll have each of your tables report back to the whole group about the ideas that you've come up with, okay? So five more minutes. So at 7:10, we'll reconvene as a whole group.
Oh, maybe it's Jose. Got it? You can do it, yeah.
Okay, y'all, if you don't mind, let's bring it everybody on back to your tables. And we're gonna start going around the tables and have you report back on some of the ideas that you had. And then once we're done hearing all of the different ideas from the tables, then you can get up and put your sticky notes along around. And then are we gonna do the dots after that, right? Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So if you want, do you want to start? Yes, you want to start?
Oh, me first. Okay, so we talked about 4 different things, and I wrote down 2 and Carrie wrote down 2. So kind of for business retention and attraction, we talked about good competition and how competition would maybe cause it would attract, but it would also retain, because maybe existing businesses would maybe fight harder for our business. And then the other thing that we talked about would be, and this is not my idea, someone else shared it with me and I thought it was brilliant, and it's someone that knows a lot more than me, but but someone explained to me that they feel that something that would really help downtown is a discount on the taxes that our buildings, our old buildings on Main Street, are very deep and very big, and it harkens back to time when they had to store a lot of dry goods. And their idea that we're ripping off and sharing tonight is a discount, that because most businesses are only interested in the storefront and like the first 15 to 20 feet, and a discount on the property tax for all of that excess square footage, because it's just our business models have changed and we don't use square footage and space like we used to back then.
Another idea we shared, and I think several people talked about it, was, and I have been hearkening on it for months now, and every person I see I tell, is that we don't have a newspaper anymore. And I realize that a lot of forms have gone to online, and the online readers. But I bought 2 newspapers this weekend in 7-Eleven. I bought the Fayette County Record and I bought the Austin American Statesman, and I loved every minute of it. Why Bastrop, why Austin Advertiser decided to take that away from our town, and why Bastrop just decided that Smithville didn't exist anymore from their articles is wrong. And I mean, we have to have a voice some way. And I realize online is the way to go. And maybe a paper is done and it's just online. But I know it's not working for us to share stuff on Facebook. People do not know what's going on in our community. We kill ourselves trying to build this town up and have things and events to get tourism in here, and you can't get the word out. Okay, I'll stop on that. The other idea, and I think several people first from looking at this, we have several access points at the Colorado River. That is one of the best natural resources we have in this community. And I lease part of mine to Texas Parks and Wildlife, just because people do not have access to the Colorado, and they want access. They want to kayak, they want to swim, they want to fish, they want to have a place to go, not where, it's just a bank, a dry bank, trails to walk on. I mean, I just think that would draw some people in here that other towns don't have that access point like we do. I mean, just look at Bastrop's river access. Every time I drive over that bridge, there are hundreds of people down there. And they have tennis courts and they have forums for people to do things. But yeah, there you go. That's ours.
Thank you very much. So I'll bring it over here. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we didn't get much further than the tourism conversation, but obviously we talked about sports complex. The ecotourism discussion came up with leveraging the state parks, riverbend promotion, Colorado River access, hunting and fishing opportunities in the region. We've got game ranches in the area. There's a lot of fishing opportunities throughout the Colorado. There's guides and services that are out there as well. Running events produce a lot of revenue. Holding running events. I guess Willie knew about one that was like 3 or 4 miles outside of town that's held every year. They brought in what, $16,000. They donated $12,000 of the revenue to the food pantries. So that's just one area where they got some of the proceeds that came to that. Dog park, leveraging opportunities for competitions and dog shows. We have a dog park in town. We could do events there, bring some money in, bring people to town. We already have the facilities. An air show, because we have an awesome facility out there at the airport. We do the annual fly-in, right? But like city of Burnett, they have a big air show every year. Old military, World War II planes, whatever. We could do something like that and bring a lot of people to town. Or they might come stay or spend money. Let's see, what else do we have? The rodeo arena at the Riverbend Park. I think it's been cleaned up a little more recently, but man, I tell you, people pay a lot of money to come watch little kids ride on some sheep. We could do some cool stuff, all right? A lot of good fundraising that could be done there. And what was the other one? Yeah, we talked about the sports complexes, so getting softball teams, select teams to town, youth sports, soccer, baseball, those kinds of things. What else do we have? And then there was discussion about getting a hotel in town. So I don't know. I think from some of the meetings I've been at before, some of the limitations of that was a fire truck, have an appropriate ladder truck, right? That was solved? Okay. Yeah. So getting just the facilities or the land that's needed and then having somebody come and invest in that. So we could, if we had an air show, we got place for people to stay. They don't end up going down the road and supporting Frank over there. So.
I have to comment on what Carrie said about communication, getting the word out to the people. I'm gonna just be honest with you. The people who are here tonight are the people who are always here tonight because we know about what's going on. There's a whole section of town that has no idea that this meeting is occurring tonight. We have to find a way to solve that problem. We talk about utility bills. There's an electric sign at the rec center that could be used for that purpose. But until we get the entire city and the people in the surrounding areas involved and notified of this, that's going to hamper our economic development. I could say a lot more, but I won't.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate that. Okay, y'all ready?
Well, we didn't get very far. We got kind of stuck, but we, like Chris said, rooftops are a big deal. I frankly am a little worried about getting too much growth because I think when it comes, it's going to be exponential and we have to make sure our infrastructure's up to par, our wastewater facilities. So I believe, like Adina said, the growth is coming anyway. We just need to make sure we are ready to manage that growth too. To drill down a little further as to facilities and what we have to offer here in town, one of my projects as a council member is to further explore the use of the rec center. I think it's underutilized. There's a lot more programs. Charlene's been sharing some of the things that they do there as senior citizens or lack thereof because of the services. Jose and Jill and I and Caroline talked the other day about putting together a committee to begin looking at other ways to increase revenue and services through the rec center. And Charlene had a great idea because Bastrop has a great rec center. And we'll visit with that director and try to, maybe Adina can offer some insight on that as well. But those are just two of the topics that we kind of got stuck on tonight because they're big topics. And newspaper communication, yes, absolutely. It's very frustrating. Some people just don't do social media. We still like that, especially us old folks.
Charlene and I probably are the more lively, mature audience, okay? And when you think about it, this age group, fun as we are, okay, we don't cost the city anything. We don't have kids. We have grandchildren, okay? And if you were to in some way identify a developer that said, we'd like you to build in this community a step up, step down, depending on your point of view, you start with an assisting. This lady lost her husband recently, sad, okay? If there was a spot, and she agreed that if there was a spot that she could move into, there was a 1 or 2 bedroom, nice apartment, call it apartment, whatever. Yeah. And then as time moves on, she matures, okay, steps up, steps down to the next level. And then as nature takes its course, so then you have a step up or down depending on your point of view, okay? But we don't cost the city anything. So how does a city sell itself to a developer? Because a lot of this population in this town is on the mature side, okay? Define it as you will. The mature people bring in their grandchildren and their children. The children then go, gee, I'd love to raise my 9 and 10-year-old in a quality community like Smithville. They move here. So if you, it's a feeder, okay? You get it built, you then have people populate it, or whatever, okay? And it feeds itself. I can name you 4 communities where that has been done very, very successfully. Anyway, that's Charlene and my pitch.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Nancy has said she will not, under any circumstance, create a new newspaper. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Anywho, Car- Nancy, Nancy. We talked about tourism. Advertise city art locations. So there is no place right now that we know of that you would, hello, in the back row. Advertise city art locations like mural and mosaic tours, veteran-owned businesses. There are a lot of, in the retail trade section, car clubs, motorcycle clubs, bicycle clubs, veterans that go on weekend tours in this area, and we don't have a place to advertise for them. And when they get here, where do they go? What do they do? You see a lot of them cruising down Main Street several times because they're like, where do I go? Where do I stay? So advertising for tourism. Same story with Colorado River access at the VFW, Riverbend Park, like the Bastrop River access. Advertising the RV park amenities. I remember Janice Bruno talking at one city council meeting about how nobody really knows that there's a fantastic RV section at Riverbend Park. And if we could advertise that, and I think she had said something about doing it for revenue, because you come, you stay, you hunker down, and then you're coming into town. So our question was, where do we advertise? And that's when Nancy told me no. Retail trade, increase weekend revenue. How do we do that? The clubs. Hotel conference center, opportunities rather than Airbnbs. So the reason for that discussion is we do have a lot of Airbnbs and short-term rentals, but providing for groups to travel and stay together. A couple of my friends from Houston are long-distance riders, like hundreds of miles on the weekends. I told them about a lot of places in town to stay for short-term rental, and they went to Bastrop in a hotel because all of their friends could stay. And it's not just, okay, I've got 4 rooms at this Airbnb or whatever. So I think that's a hotel conference center. It ties in with what Alan's been talking about. Dog shows can't happen at that itty bitty dog park, but they could happen at the rec center. So I used to do dog shows. Anyway. Exactly. Because that's right. That's exactly right. Additional grocery store, keep the choice, keep the revenue in Smithville. Not wanting a big box store, but if we're going to leave and go to HEB, why aren't we doing it in Smithville? Acquire downtown retail space. There's a lot of issues we had Lori Vincent talk. A lot of people don't want to sell because now is not the right time to sell. But then if you did sell and you got in it, the amount of money that you'd have to put into reno to get it to a place where you can actually do retail, we need to have a conversation with economic development on that. And then additional senior community centers. The Towers is a great place, but it's not a place that you want to stay long-term. I'm just saying, having been there recently and had my stepmother stay there. Patio home, community centers, things like that for seniors. It just makes sense. They're going to have another whole community of neighbors and being able to do things and activities together and share and go and trips and things like that. So it's important because otherwise you're kind of this lock-in situation. So those were our comments.
Okay, so now is the time to post your Post-its and take your sticky notes and figure out which things are the most priorities. So you've heard the ideas around the room, so you have sort of an idea of where, and if you like your idea the best and you put it up and you put all 12 stickies on it, that's fine. it's your priorities, right? So so whoever wants to get up and put things around and oh, sure, sorry.
I was just reminded of something. There is a woman named Mara Gast, and she's been the tourism director, I don't know what her title is, for the city of Irving for 30 years. And she was president of the International Organization for Tourism. And in 2009, she made this statement, and I hear it all the time in the tourism industry. And I think this is exactly what we're trying to do. Mara said, if you build a place where people want to visit, you build a place where people want to live. If you build a place where people want to live, you'll build a place where people want to work. If you build a place where people want to work, you'll build a place where businesses want to be. And if you build a place where businesses want to be, we'll be back to building a place where people want to visit. I mean, it's a circle. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, with that, so go ahead and get up and put your sticky notes up and your dots and everything, and thank you all, and we'll come back in about 10 minutes. Yeah, about 10 minutes or so. Walk around, put your stuff on. Okay, thank you. Okay, y'all. Thanks again to everybody for being part of this program. I'm going to bring you all back to the tables. And then this part of the project, or this part of the program, I'm going to read off the notes and say which got the most sticky dots, the red dots. And then we'll have our team of experts here kind of have a reaction. They will,
Here we go. Here we go. We'll try this one.
I think when two of them are on, it does it funky. Okay, so, okay, and then they will react to some of these projects that have the most stickies, right? Okay, so the newspaper, under education information, newspaper got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dots. Newspaper over there. Okay. So 15 dots for newspaper. I'll have it. I'll take pictures of it and everything. Okay, I'm going to move newspaper over there. Okay, retail trade, acquiring downtown retail spaces is 2 dots. Hotel, a conference center for weekend events is 3 dots. Variation in retail trade for grocery store is 2 dots. And I'm just going to move it over when I come back around. Oh, okay. And this is hire a Main Street manager to get grants to develop retail trade. Okay. It has hire a Main Street manager to develop retail, to get grants and develop retail trade. Okay, yeah, maybe. Okay, under housing, we have 3 dots under multifamily, 1 dot for affordable housing, 2 dots for general. Just anything that's not the other ones, kind of like just housing, just general housing, like, yeah, single family or, what other kind of.
Houses that people have some money, that they have that discretionary spending money to come here. Right now, we've got, some little homes that I think people are buying, but they're not using their dollars on our Main Street.
Thank you. Okay, so workforce has 4 dots. Utilize career tracks to market businesses to come to Smithville, train regional residents, hire certified trainers as employees. So 4 dots for that. Downtown revitalization, attracting manufacturer and technology businesses. There's nothing there, but I think because Alan just put it up. So infrastructure, wastewater treatment in order to annex 71 properties, 7 dots. City services, rec center, infrastructure, utilities, infrastructure, okay. 4 dots there. And then critical infrastructure, wastewater, roads, utilities, and public facilities. Okay. Business expansion and retention, business retention and attraction, tax discount on square footage to incentivize occupancy on Main Street. That's got 5 dots. Business attraction, competition for grocery for 4 dots. Senior living with a step down facility, 4 dots. Okay. Nothing under business attraction, but I think there were also some business attraction on that side as well. Special efforts, arts and culture, first film friendly community, film industry has 2 dots. Advertise was the question is where. City arts locations like mural tours, mosaics, veteran owned businesses, 1 dot there. Under Colorado River access and okay, is it on? Okay. So that's its impact on tourism, 6, 8, 10 dots. Colorado River access, Riverbend Park is 1 dot. Nothing specific under lodging. And then tourism, ecotourism at State Park is 1 dot. Riverbend Park promotion, fishing and hunting opportunities. Riverbend Park advertise RV park amenities. That's got 3 dots. Rodeo Arena at Riverbend has 1 dot. Sports complex, including youth sports entertainment complex, that's got 2 dots. Riverbend Park train park events, 1 dot. And then no dots, but probably because they just went up. Turned the train cars into a food truck incubator. commercial kitchen to support the farmer's market. Interesting. Running events, air show at the airport, dog park events, competition, dog shows. So out of those ideas that are percolating around, do you have any specific reaction to anything that you heard? I read a lot of them all at once. You want me to go back and think about it again?
I think utilization, there was a lot about a convention center. I think utilization of existing facilities. I mean, a lot of towns would kill for the rec center that we have, and it's a very flexible space. So we host things now, we could host more. That puts people buying, shopping, staying, all that sort of stuff. And Riverbend Park, I mean, that is an absolute jewel of a park. And, you know, it could be used in so many ways. So yes, we want more. But I think we can build on a lot of things that we already have.
I think that's already happened just in this one meeting, all of these ideas about the spaces that you have and what could be done there. And I heard an example of somebody calling Adina last night with a great idea on a walkway. And so sounds like y'all are all really talking and collaborating already. I think once you go through this process together, as long as you continue working together, that's going to kind of form where you're headed. And then, you know, with some of these ideas that you have where you're trying to attract specific types of developers, I know that, well, maybe I'm just about to will it into existence because we've had a lot of talks. I'm sure you've spoken with Sharice about trying to do a regional partners matchmaking with different types of investors again next year. And so once you've kind of identified that plan, we are obviously would be happy to assist trying to make those connections. But I think y'all need to agree as a community, you know, where you want to go. And then we're happy to help.
You know, I like the idea of the newspaper, and I have to go with that because I like the newspaper as well, certainly on a Sunday morning with a cup of coffee, and internet's fine and all that good stuff. But yeah, community information is so important. I think somebody made a comment earlier that they didn't know about it until, was it you just mentioned you didn't know about it until like last night? And yeah, getting the word out. I mean, you're right. More people should be able to come out. But yeah, and I remember growing up in a small town myself, and the newspaper was so important when certainly during high school, sports, and just everybody can rally or have something to rally around. And then from a tourism standpoint too, I think it's very important to have that information to get out and brings people in. And I think it goes back to what Adina gave on it was Mara Gast. I mean, that full circle that comes around and it just builds your community.
Bastrop EDC, right? Well, if you were walking into Smithville and we just hired you as EDC, what would your opinion be? That what's the first thing we should be doing?
First of all, being from Bastrop, I've come here for a Christmas parade, brought my kids here. I love the small town. And I'm from a small town, so I'm partial to that. The other thing is my construction company, we're building 14 houses in Smithville right now. It's so easy to do business here. I mean, working with Robert and they brought Jack Page back in as well to help us with the, doing the development and the like. I mean, working here is so easy. And I mean, you have a hospital. I think that's the growth is coming, with the hospital. So you have something that really to rally around. The first thing that I would do, work with Opportunity Austin, which I think y'all are doing. I think y'all are bringing somebody in already. I happen to know some things too, but again, you can't really, and like I said, as a recovering banker, you just learn to keep things quiet anyway because what goes on and stays inside. But I think it's poised for growth, and we're just talking about that earlier. Let interest rates drop a little bit more. Let this election get get on by so we know who the next president's going to be. And I think we're going to see a lot more changing coming. And so having this meeting right here today, I think allows for to you guys to get ahead of the curve, because the tsunami's here, guys. I mean, it can't go north and south with Round Rock and Pflugerville. I mean, that's all built up. Buda and Collet. I mean, it's crazy. My mom goes to the hospital down there sometimes, see her cardiologist, and I mean, it's just so built up and all the rooftops there. I mean, it's going to be here that way as well. And this meeting is so important to get ahead of that curve, because it's pretty much on us right now.
Too, you know, it's funny you say that. I've got two big commercial deals going in Bastrop right now, and there's some that I'm trying to talk to over here too. And every one of them have said, I'm not doing anything till November until I find out who and they don't care who the president, or they might care who the president's going to be, but they just want that said and done.
Yes. This is just to answer some questions about like where we advertise these events. And so I just wanted to mention real quickly to this group that we've been working with the news, publishing the new 78957 magazine. And so a lot of what we've talked about, a lot of the events, the annual events that we have here, our lodging options, and all of that is going to be in the magazine. And we plan to distribute that magazine like everywhere. So that's just one of the places that you know, where you can, I mean, where we are advertising and letting, you know, not just the community, but, you know, people know what events we're having. And so one of the other things that we offer with the chamber for our business members to support them is, you know, we brought back the monthly newsletter. And so that's an opportunity, a platform for them to be able to advertise and promote their business, because it is important for us to be able to not just promote, like someone had mentioned, the downtown businesses, but all the businesses in the Smithville area.
Any other comments or questions? We have another 10 minutes before we're officially done, but if you want your 10 minutes of your life back, are you all ready to go? Yeah. Y'all are awesome. I really appreciate you being here. Please tell people what I'm going to do next is take all of this information. We'll have another survey that we'll send out. We'll kind of drill down on all these ideas. We'll get a few more ideas, hopefully, from that process. So please tell people to take the survey. They can watch this on YouTube if they weren't able to come, but they can watch it there. If anybody does have any questions, my door is always open. I really appreciate you all for being here, and thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. Thank you.